What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So we got another episode of This Week in Warframe where we go over the entire weekly reset. All those Incarnons, all that kind of stuff you could be looking forward to as a weekly Warframe player. We also got some big Prime Access stuff this week, and Gargoyle's Cry ends tomorrow. So we'll be going over all that stuff. But before we do, make sure you're subbed to this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads. These weekly reset videos go up like right at weekly reset every week as well, and I'm not going to fail you guys on that. And we'll also remember the Archon hunt this week, unlike last week. If you enjoyed these types of videos, really appreciate all the support. I'll be live on stream right after this as well, so you can come hang out and grind this stuff out with me if you'd like. Alright, let's get right into it. So the first weekly reset item is going to be at Teshin, and what do we got today? We got 30,000 endo for 150 steel essence. Not really worth it to me, but maybe it's worth it to you. Feel free to drop your steel essence on that endo. We've got Kuva and relic packs as usual. You might want to save your relic packs until Wednesday, because Wednesday is when Gauss Prime, Exceltra Prime, and Acarius Prime get released, and those stats are looking pretty good. So yeah, definitely don't turn your steel essence until then unless you really want to. Because yeah, technically Garuda relics are going away on Wednesday as well, guys, okay? Garuda Prime, Nagantaka Prime, and the Corvus Prime going away on Wednesday. Now, speaking of Prime Resurgence, there actually is more Prime Resurgence stuff, well, Prime Access and Prime Resurgence. There's Prime Resurgence stuff later in the week. So we got, on Thursday, we got Saren, Valkyr, Atlas, and Vauban coming back. And that's going to be at 2 p.m. on Thursday. It's going to be going until February 1st. Now, reminder that the Volt, Loki, Nova, and Trin will have a last chance week starting on February 15th. Well, more like last chance rotation with 2 weeks. February 1st, you'll have access to all this stuff. So Saren, Volt, Mesa, etc. All that stuff will be available on February 1st until February 15th. So if you don't get it this week, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, we do have a new Resurgence starting on Thursday. And a new Prime Access starting on Wednesday. So a lot of stuff going on this week. And yes, Gargoyle's Cry technically ends on the 15th at 2 p.m. ET, but don't worry, you can turn your grotesque splinters to your Jahu Gargoyle in your clan dojo until February 15th. So you got like an entire extra month to buy that stuff from the dojo. But the new splinters will not drop. Just keep that in mind. All right, for your weekly Archites wares, okay, this might be remotely worth it this week actually. All right, we got a primary Archon adapter for 25 pathos. We got a Exilus Warframe adapter for 20 pathos. We got a Orkin reactor blueprint for 20 pathos. That's basically 20 plat for 20 pathos. Not really worth the time, but to somebody out there maybe it will be. And Orkin catalyst blueprint for 20 pathos as well. I'd probably say this one's probably more valuable than that one, but you know, it depends what you really need. We also got a formal blueprint for 10 pathos. Just a reminder, pathos clamps do come from Aura Worm fights exclusively, and they can take a while. So just keep that in mind that if you are dropping 20 pathos clamps, you could have probably made 20 plat in that time. Or actually more than 20 plat in that time. All right, let's go over the stuff that most people care about because your Torrid Incarnon is here. I already remembered which one we're on. We're the Torrid Incarnon and the Dual Toxicist Incarnon. So one of the best Incarnon weeks possible. Maybe perhaps even the best Incarnon week possible. But let's go over the Incarnon stuff right now. Actually, we'll get into the normal path to Viri, see what frames you can grind up for your Helminths and all that. Then we'll get into the steel path. All right, so for normal path, we got Necros normal, Valkyr normal, and Oberon normal. Yes, I know that Necros normal is very good, but the problem here is Oberon is very annoying to farm nowadays, so please go for Oberon, no questions asked. He comes from like Railjack missions now, and he's not exactly good. He's like usable tier, but he's annoying to farm, and this will give you guaranteed Oberon normal parts just from leveling this up. So go for Oberon. Necros normal drops from Lefantis on Deimos, and Valkyr drops from Alad V on Jupiter. This guy drops from like Railjack rotational reward or something terrible like that. So please, please, please pick Oberon normal this week if you want to get him for Mastery or for the Helminth. Now, for the Steel Path stuff, here comes the big money here. Well, just a reminder, they've added this a while ago. If you already are ranked 9 with Opportunity Intrinsic, you can pick this stuff instead of picking an Incarnon for the week if you prefer. But if you don't have these Incarnons yet, you better not pick that Kuva because these are really, really good. So going over all of these, we've got the Torrid Incarnon, Dual Toxicist Incarnon, Dual Ichor Incarnon, Miter Incarnon, and the Tomos Incarnon. They're all really good. They're all really, really, really good. So you have some choices ahead of you today. Let's go over what each of these does, though. So for the Torrid Incarnon, this is a very old weapon that becomes like end game viable with this Incarnon upgrade. So the primary shot's an infested grenade launcher, like leaves a lingering damage over time thing. Once you transform it, and you can build the Incarnon form for this thing with body shots, unlike most other Incarnons. So get a couple grenade launcher body shots, you transform this thing into the most OP beam weapon in the game. It's like a red crit toxin beam. It has base toxin, so you can do lots of fun stuff like, viral toxin with nourish. You could do like corrosive, viral with nourish. I guess you could, lots of good things you could do with this. It's got really high stats though. So with a Riven, red crits, even without a Riven, sometimes red crits. And the Incarnon forms just give you a bunch of extra damage. This thing might not sound extremely overwhelmingly powerful, but is a very good long-range beam, chains between enemies very nicely, and just hits really, really hard. Now, it's not as good at level 10,000 as the Dual Toxicist, but yeah, for like normal Steel Path stuff, this is great. So definitely pick this up as one of your #1 recommendations. But if you want more high-powered weapons for level 10,000, we'll talk about some other stuff later. All right, so yeah, good choice right here. Very good primary option. Some of you guys have been waiting for that for a while. And hilariously, this comes out the day before the event ends, and this was a really good weapon for the event, the Gargoyle's Cry, unfortunately. But yeah, that's just, I made my rant video about it. They didn't change it, so they haven't changed it yet. The Dual Toxicist Incarnon, I've been using this a lot. Actually, a lot of people have been using this a lot. It's very good for level 10,000s. So semi-auto in the non-Incarnon form. When you go into Incarnon form, this thing becomes full auto, and it also can chain between enemies, but once you have a punch through Riven or a punch through mod, it will chain through enemies even more. So it also has extremely good damage for level 10,000. No Bane mods needed, level 10,000 insta-kills. I'd recommend going for the increased crit chance option on Commodore's Fortune on this one. But yeah, it also has an amazing Incarnon that gives you 100% increased multi-shot just for casting abilities. So honestly, I'd probably say go for this one over the or over the Torrid. But it's really up to you. I guess I could go for both of them, honestly. But yeah, amazing pistol, one of the best pistols in the game, if not the best pistol in the game. Get this right now. Dual Ichor Incarnon, actually really, like I said, this is a good week for Incarnon. This is a really good one right here too, so probably one of the best melee Incarnons. When you transform it with a 6x multiplier, kills with this weapon will create a toxin field, and that toxin field was buffed to now take your modded elements onto it. So melee influence Saren, unless it gets nerfed, this is one of the craziest things with her. Every kill can proc more electric clouds, more toxin clouds. If you have an elemental Riven, you can get like a viral cloud, all that kind of stuff like that. So very good. They're actually just good if you're not even using them to cheese with like melee influence as well. They can kill level 10,000s very fast, even though the crit's not amazing, because these last Incarnon upgrades give you status chance and not crit. But yeah, very powerful, and just, they're good dual swords. I enjoy these things quite a bit. You should try them out if you have not already. But you can only choose 2 this week, just be aware of that. The Miter Incarnon, this is why I was saying that, like, the Torrid Incarnon is good for, like, everyday missions. This is probably one of the best Acolyte killing weapons in the game, if not the best, because it just has so much overwhelming damage and crit. So the Incarnon form on this thing, it makes the saw blades that this saw blade launcher usually fires, become homing, bouncing, exploding saw blades. And yeah, they hit really hard on Acolytes. Like if you want to one-shot an Acolyte, I will one-shot Acolytes with the wrong build a lot of the time with this thing. So yeah, very good. Also, there's an Incarnon, or there's an augment called Neutralizing Justice that will destroy nullifier bubbles instantly. So if you're not going for the Torrid this week because you already have it or something like that, go for the Miter and you will annihilate Acolytes. But it's definitely not as good at overall crowd clearing as the Torrid, just because it's a little bit slower fire rate. But very good and one of my favorite weapons in the game. For the Atomos Incarnon, after all those glowing reviews, what am I going to say about the Atomos Incarnon? Well, it's really good. If you are a returning player and you have your Atomos from like back when you were like a brand new player, the Atomos actually can be endgame viable with this Atomos Incarnon. So it makes the beam have a lot more crit chance. It makes the weapon have a lot more base damage. It gives it more range too. I forgot about that. It's very nice. Now the problem with this, and the reason that a lot of people don't use this as much, is that this weapon kills enemies so quickly. And also, it chains between enemies. This thing, unlike the Torrid, this requires headshots to build the Incarnon form. What does the Incarnon form give you? It gives you a rocket launcher mode, kind of like a grenade launcher, rocket launcher, that is hard-hitting, but is definitely very different than a beam. It's like, pretty much like these two guns are the opposite. So you go from a grenade launcher into a beam, you go from a beam into a grenade launcher on the Atomos. So yeah, it's definitely one of your lower priorities this week, maybe even under the Dual Ichor, just because, it's... The Dual Toxicist here this week is honestly how it is. So for my #1 and #2 recommendations, I would say Dual Toxicist #1, Torrid #2, but really they're interchangeable of whatever one you want or more excited for. Torrid #1, Dual Toxicist #2 also works. If you already have the Torrid, go for the Miter and the Tox, or if you already have the Miter, or you have one of these already, just go for the things you don't have because they're all good this week, with the Atomos probably being the least exciting just because of when it chains, doesn't go for headshots, so you don't build the Incarnon charge very often. At least I don't. All right, that's it for your Incarnons for the week. Really, really good one, guys. Make sure if you have time to grind out that Steel Path circuit, you do it because you might regret it, because that's not going to be back around for like another month and a half. And they will be adding a new Incarnon week in 2024, so there might be an 8th week. Yeah, so that'll be like about 2 months of waiting at that point. Alright, for your Archon hunts, we got Chipper over here. What's he got? Chipper has an Amber Archon Shard. That's great, Chipper. You never have a Tau Shard, do you? No, he doesn't. As far as the Archon hunt, not forgetting it this week, we have the... Okay, it's the Wolf Archon. I actually got a 20% blue Tau Shard last week, so I'm looking for a blue Tau, so maybe Netracell's can give me that. But we got the Red Archon, mission types Mobile Defense, Disruption, and the final boss Showdown. Good luck getting that Tau Shard. It can turn into a orange shard or a purple shard, I suppose. Now for Kahl, I got Junk Run, and the challenges are Deathless, completing without dying or becoming veiled, collect 5 Gene Stamps, yikes, release 3 caged Drox on the guards. I can never remember where those Drox actually are. Rescue 5 captured Ostrons. Those can be in the side boss area, unfortunately. Find extra Thumper parts for Chipper, and destroy 3 Pazul Axum. So lots of hidden stuff this week. Have fun with that one. I might just be avoiding a bunch of these challenges, to be honest, but that's your Kahl mission. Now, if you are not level 30 in Nightwave, it's still going to be going for a while, so no rush, really. But as far as your Nightwave challenges, let's see what we got. All right, so first, weekly is complete 12 conduits in Disruption. That's basically 3 rounds of Disruption with every conduit defended. Complete 6 invasion missions of any type. That's not a very fun one. I'd recommend going for Forward. Forward, the infested boss fight. Fly through, one-shot them, just complete the mission. Or wait for the invasions to become a capture or a exterminate, or like a rescue, maybe. I don't even know if they can have a rescue invasion. They probably can. Kill 300 enemies using a Necromech without it getting destroyed. That's a elite weekly. So there's missions like Conjunction Survival. There's missions like Railjack, Corpus Survival, and some like open world bounties. That's going to be basically wherever you can use a Necromech, try it out there. You can actually technically use them on the new Sanctum Atomica survival missions too. So there's going to be plenty of places you can do that, but it cannot get destroyed. So just be aware of that when you are dropping down your Necromech. The other elite weekly is make 10 Riven Slivers into a Riven mod. That's at Pauladina on Iron Wake, and that's once per week. Or actually, you can do 2 of those per week. So if you have the Riven Slivers, there you go. That is going to be it's not a very hard elite weekly in my eyes, but hey, I have like 15,000 Riven Slivers anyway. And then your permanent weeklies: kill 30 Eximus, complete 15 missions, and kill 500 enemies. Pretty standard stuff. They do that every week now. What have they done with my organization? They keep changing my organization. Stop doing that, DE. We got our evergreen stuff at the top. I'd probably change the organization, honestly. And we got some pretty good helmets. We got Nora's Anubis helmet, the Grendel Glut helmet, the Revenant Vania helmet. Lots of good choices here if you're looking for any of these helmets. Yeah, it's really personal preference if you like this stuff. I don't think I have some of these, but yeah. Exposing Harpoons back again. Okay, so as far as your aura mods, we got lots of aura mods this week. Wow, we got Pistol Scavenger, Physique, Deadeye, Rifle Scavenger, Energy Siphon, Loot Detector. And then the Returning Nightwave Augment, Exposing Harpoon. Pulling an enemy with the Heart Pack will give 300% increased crit chance for 15 seconds. I never have used this. We need like a Kuva Heart Pack for me to even consider this, to be honest. And yeah, I know some people do like this, but they don't use it very often. It's just kind of like a harpoon launcher gun. It does not do amazing damage. As far as your aura mods to get this week, though, Loot Detector is very good. I use it on my Neutron Star Titania build, so if you want to replicate that build 1-to-1, get this. And the rest of the stuff is really up to personal preference. Energy Siphon's nice with Nourish, I guess. Rifle Scavenger can be nice for picking up more ammo with like rocket launchers and stuff like that. The rest of them are not very good. But yeah, that's up to you if you want to grab those. For Mastery Fodder, we got the Glaive Normal and the Dark Sword Normal. And as far as PvP augment mods, we got Skull Shots the Viper, giving infinite ammo and headshots. Singularity for Nyx, making a like absorption ring thing. Reminder, you cannot run this with Assimilate. They can only have 1 augment per ability equipped. And the last one's Shrapnel Round to the Marelock. I really need a Vacor Marelock Incarnon at this point. Alright, so that's basically your Nightwave stuff. Let's go take a look at those invigorations. And yeah, it's going to be a juicy week for, plat farming and stuff like that. We have Gauss Prime on Wednesday, and we have Saren Prime and all those other frames on Thursday. So pretty good. Okay, let's do it. Okay, we got a Revenant and a Garuda Invigoration. I'm liking the looks of this. So if you don't know how to access this stuff, you can buy it in the market, the in-game market for 300 plat. It's the Invigoration segment and the Helminth and all that. But if you don't want to buy it, you can go grind it out on Deimos, rank 3 to unlock this chair, and then rank 5 to get these things down here. So the random per week, they'll be different from me to you. So I just like to show them because it's fun to me to maybe make a Secret Agent Ivara a couple, like last week. That was because of these Invigorations, just to show you what kind of fun you can have. So let's take a look at this Revenant one. Hopefully it's good for level 10,000s. Okay, that's pretty decent for Revenant. 100% increased ability range and 75% increased reload speed. I could definitely make that work for level 10,000s. It's not going to help me too much with Nourish, but it might help me with reload speed on the dual Toxicist, I guess. I mean, not an amazing invigoration, to be honest. But hey, range is better than nothing. I can maybe override this on somebody as well. So, yeah, range and Revenant not doing a whole lot, but still a decent one nonetheless. Not like plus health or something. We have Vauban getting increased 1,000 armor and increased melee crit chance by 200%. Pretty decent. I'm glad that this one's on Vauban, not on Revenant. And then the last one for Garuda, who's getting vaulted on Wednesday, we have secondary crit chance increase and an energy max increase. That's pretty good. I use Lieutenant Cycron on Garuda quite a bit. I wonder how much energy she'll have with this. We'll have to find out later on stream. So, appreciate all the support, guys. I'm going to see you in the next video. Enjoy your weekly reset and all that. And yeah, let's go farm, guys. Take it easy. Bye.